Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or just welcome if you are new. I am so excited to have you guys here today because this is a very special video. Not only is this part of my Newcrest save file, which is base game only, by the way, if you did not know, this is also the second community lot that I have built for my save file, so we only have a few more to go, guys. And this is not just any community lot, this is a nightclub, and if you know anything about nightclubs, when it comes to base game in The Sims, man, they are hard to do. They are hard to make really fun and vibrant, and I actually think I did a very good job making them fun and vibrant, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys. Of course, if you find this video helpful, informative, or entertaining in any way, then please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you have not already. So let's go ahead and get right into today's build. So any of you guys that have been following along to my Newcrest series, then you are well aware that I am pretty scared to build a community lot. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. They're hard for me. I don't know why they're so hard for me to do. It takes a lot of like thought and concentration, and I can never find like a good inspiration photo when it comes to community lots, especially for like a nightclub, because if you know anything about nightclubs in real life, they're typically just like a building and they're not very like interesting on the outside. At least the nightclubs that I have been to downtown Ybor a lot, like when I was younger than I am now, and they're really just like outside brick wall buildings that have a little bit of color. I mean, they're really not that interesting, and so they wouldn't be very interesting to be replicated into The Sims. So I really didn't know where I wanted to start with the outside or really the inside of this nightclub. But there's this one day that I really just started building, and I took the inspiration from the recreation center across the street, and that was very modern, so I wanted to stick with modern when it came to all of the other community lots in this area. And so that's another thing that made it kind of hard, is that I'm not very good when it comes to modern builds, and so there's a couple things going against me with this build, but I really am happy with the outcome of it. I think it turned out really good, and I use these platforms as like makeshift stairs, and so those are the stairs going up into the nightclub. And I also wanted to make use of these lights because if you know, then you know, there are no like fun lights in the base game, and there's no like spotlights or, you know, those lights that are in Get Famous, and they're typically outside of like concerts and stuff like that, and they go back and forth in the air. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm not very good at explaining things sometimes, but yeah, there's none of those like spotlight sort of lights in The Sims base game, and so that was kind of hard to do. What I ended up doing was bringing a sim to this nightclub so that I could change the color myself, and the colors that I ended up going with is a lot of black, obviously, but then I ended up doing like vibrant pinks, vibrant blues, vibrant yellows, and some green here and there, and those colors actually look really good together. I feel like it makes like a happy vibe to this place, you know, somewhere that you would want to go have drinks and dance and all that fun stuff. And I almost did these windows in like a straight line down these walls where the colors are, but yeah, I did away with that idea. It just looked kind of off to me. So what I ended up doing was deleting those, and then I put some columns there instead, and they're kind of like in a line, and it gives it like a geometric vibe, and I think it looks really good. And I almost added some windows up there at the top story, but I couldn't get them to look that good. It just looked kind of off, and so I ended up adding a sign and, well, two signs. I added two signs on both sides of this lot, and one is like the name of the club, and in this case the name of the club is Club Simoleon. And then I also ended up putting a sign. Right now it has like a parrot on a cocktail glass, but I end up changing it to that circular sign. It's also a neon sign. I can't remember exactly what is on there, but you guys will see here in just a minute which one it is. And I also end up changing the main entranceway. Right now it's like a black, but I end up changing it to like a gray concrete stucco type of color. And where the sign is, I end up putting columns around that and then painting it completely black behind the sign. The reason why I did that is because you might notice it already. The lighting is so weird in that area. I don't know if it's because of the platform that I put underneath it. Kind of like a roof sort of vibe is what I was going for. So I'm not sure if that is messing with the lighting or what exactly the problem with the lighting is, especially at night. So during the day it's fine, but the lighting at night in that area is just so weird. I couldn't figure out exactly what the problem is. And so my solution was just to put columns around it and paint that part black. And it ended up looking really good anyways. It kind of sticks out. And then it just looks like it's part of the sign, if that makes sense. So I ended up doing that instead, and honestly I thought it looked a lot better. Not only the lighting looked better, but honestly me transforming the sign with the black in the back made the sign look better. It looked like it was meant to be that way. So yeah, and I also add a bunch of fountains in this build. So fountains is something that I don't use often at all. No particular reason, I kind of just forget about them, to be honest. And since I don't do a lot of community lots, there's almost no reason to use the fountains. I know I could use them in some residential builds, especially like mansions and stuff like that, but mansions, that's another thing that I don't do often that is on my list to do. I want to start broadening my horizons. I don't want to just do a bunch of suburban houses all the time, even if they are my favorite thing to build. I do want to get into unfamiliar territory and, you know, try some new things out every once in a while. Actually, that's what this build is. And it wasn't scary at all. It was actually pretty fun. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm almost looking forward to the next community lot. But yeah, like I was saying, I did put fountains not only in the front, but the back as well. And I gave each of the little fountain heads their own color. I stuck with the pink, blue, and yellow color scheme pretty much through this whole build. So it's not only those colors, but lots of black as well, especially on the inside. That kind of comes with the territory when it comes to like nightclubs. I feel like nightclubs are always dark on the inside, at least all the ones that I've been to. I don't think I've ever been to one where you could like really see in there until like the end of the night and they popped all the lights on and you're like, oh my god, I'm blind. What happened to these lights? And who is this that I'm dancing with? No, I'm joking. That did not happen to me, but I'm sure it happened to somebody. But yeah, so these fountains really added like an extra detail to this build that was like really needed, and I didn't know that it was needed until I added these fountains. And these are actually the dancing fountains, so they go up and down all night long, and I thought that made sense with the nightclub because, you know, you're dancing all night, the fountains are dancing all night, everyone's dancing, everyone's having a good time, right? Even the inanimate objects, not just your Sims. But I mean, look at it. Doesn't the fountains just like make a difference to this build? I really think it does. Oh, and here's that extra large circular neon sign I was talking about. It has a cocktail glass and a palm tree. Does the palm tree really make a whole lot of sense here? No, not really, but we're not judging. I mean, this is base game. We have limited options here in the base game. So guys, I did what I could. And honestly, I'm pretty proud of the outcome of this. Right now I'm adding some additional lighting underneath the sign, and I have it like a red and a green. That does not stay, guys. I don't really know what I was thinking here. I end up changing that lighting to just white instead, just so it like lights up the sign extra, you know, gives it like an extra oomph. Then I put some circular lights up here at the top as well. And I definitely made sure this was nice and lit up on the outside. I wanted it to be very appealing to your Sims on the outside so that you'd want to come in, and it's very nice on the inside as well. I think I did a very good job on the inside. I think I like the inside better than the outside. I don't know. The outside's nice too. So I can't really decide which one I like better, but the inside is very like neon, and there's like a dance floor that I built, and there's multiple bars, even though you can't have multiple bartenders, and I did not know that until I was playtesting this build. So yeah, that kind of sucked, but I guess there's a mod that you can download where you can have multiple bartenders. I'm not sure why multiple bartenders on a community lot is not a thing already in the actual base game. That is like such a realistic touch that I am so confused why that's not a thing. Like, what club do you go to that only has one bar with one bartender? I don't think I've ever been to one. I used to go to a certain club in Ybor where they had multiple levels, and each level had like multiple bartenders. So there was like several bars in that club. Plus there's also like cocktail waitresses, or whatever they're called. I think they're cocktail waitresses, just walking around like shot girls, you know? They're walking around giving out shots and stuff. And that was another thing that I wish they had in the game, but they don't. And I understand why they don't. I mean, it's just, I feel like it'd be kind of hard to do. But they could at least have multiple bartenders on one lot. I mean, come on. So I need to download that mod to see how exactly it works, and so I can see my build in its full potential, you know? I feel like there's so many empty bars, it's kind of sad. But something else that I add in this build that's pretty interesting is there's like individual rooms that just happen to be part of the floor plan. I wasn't trying to add these individual rooms, but they just kind of happened, and I had no idea what to put in these individual rooms. At first I just put like a couch, and then I put like the microphone in there. I figured they could be doing karaoke, even though karaoke is not in the base game. We're just doing pretend here, guys. But what I ended up doing instead, I came across those lights that's like a martini glass, and it's like all neon and lit up. And there's a certain mod that you can download where you can use that as a stripper pole. And so that like flashed in my mind and gave me an idea, guys. Those private rooms, they're not for karaoke, okay? At least not the second floor. The first floor, there's some microphones in there. They're karaoke on the first floor. But when you go up to the second floor, it gets a little crazy, guys. I put those makeshift stripper poles in the private room so you can have like a private lap dance in there. Is that weird, or is that funny, or is that cool? I felt like that's kind of cool and kind of realistic too, you know? And this is a nightclub. There's no children's Sims allowed here, guys. Okay? So if you're a child and you're watching this, leave. Leave now, okay? You were warned. You were warned. So yeah, that will come later in the build. It's one of the last things that I added because I didn't think of it until like later in the build. So that was pretty fun. And then I finally added the fountains in the back of the build there. See them in the back of the build? It actually makes it look so cool, especially at night. And I add some extra lights and stuff on the back of the build, and extra like pop outs with the pink, the blue, and the yellow. And it looks so like neon at night. I really didn't think I was going to be able to achieve that with the base game, but surprisingly, I was able to achieve it, and it looks really good. And I played in this build, and oh my gosh, it is so fun to play in. I'm not even lying. And the music that I chose for inside of the venue, like at the dance floor, well, not just the dance floor, the whole venue is the exact same type of music. And I just chose hip hop. I felt like that made the most sense when it came to nightclubs. All the nightclubs I've been to always played hip hop music. And maybe a mix of like pop and R&B too, but mainly just hip hop music. I don't know if that's like a Tampa thing or if that's all nightclubs everywhere. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's all nightclubs though, because I've been to nightclubs on a cruise ship also, and it's also just been like hip hop music, maybe some pop here and there, but mainly hip hop. It's nice dancing music, I feel like. And so I am now starting on the actual layout of the floor plan of this nightclub, and the floor plan gave me a little bit of a hard time because I knew I wanted to have this like dance floor where it kind of sunk down, and I ended up putting stairs on all 4 sides. And I also found these lights, guys. I didn't think they had lights like this in the base game, but apparently they do. Now, they don't like flicker, and they're not like a disco ball or anything like that, even though I wish it was. They don't move around or anything, which is what like real nightclub lights do. But you know what? Beggars cannot be choosers. At least base game had something that I could work with. And then I could change the actual lights, like the color of the lights on those lights. And so right now it's yellow, pink, blue, and green. Doesn't really make sense for the vibe I was going for. I end up changing it to like blue, purple, and pinkish. And it looks really good in the end, guys. Just stick to the end and watch till the end. You won't regret it, I promise. And as for the actual tile of the floor goes, this was not ideal for me at all. I didn't really love this tile, but I didn't really know what tile to choose. I think what I wanted to go for was not available. If you have played The Sims 2 at all in your life, then you probably are aware of this certain tile that is in The Sims 2, and it's like really like vibrant and neon. There's like pink, there's blue, there's yellow. I think there's all types of different colors. I think there's like a green. It's like real nice vibrant color, and it looks like a dance floor type of tile. Well, I couldn't find anything like that at all. I looked. I couldn't find anything that really looked that good, and so I ended up just going with this tile. It looks pretty good, especially with the actual lighting down onto the tile. It gives it that extra like sparkle that it needed. I was looking for a sparkly floor. Moral of the story is that. And I couldn't exactly find exactly what I was looking for, but that was close enough. And so I ended up sticking with that. And we are doing the rest of the floor plan. And like I was saying, it gave me a little bit of a hard time. And let me do a little bit of a disclaimer. Oh, I was going to say, I did a large portion of this without any lighting, and so it might be dark. Well, apparently I did put lighting relatively quickly, and so we don't have to worry about that. But over here, these are the bathrooms, and I did multiple bathrooms in this build. On the bottom floor, there's 4 bathrooms. There's 2 for the men and 2 for the women, and then upstairs there are bathrooms there as well, and I think I did 4 up there, so 2 for men and 2 for women. So there's like plenty of bathrooms in this build, and they don't have bathroom stalls in the base game, and so I ended up making my own bathroom stalls and just use like the wall instead. And it turned out really good. And then of course each of the bathroom, like the toilets, stalls, they have their own doors, obviously. And then there are the sink outside of the toilet. I didn't put any showers or anything like that in here. I mean, this is a nightclub. This is not a gym. I didn't think they were really needed. If you need to take a shower, you can go home, you know? Don't be weird. And then I am also trying to figure out how I want to put the staircases. Like, I didn't know exactly where I wanted to put them, but I ended up coming up with the idea of having like 2 different rooms with the staircases, and there's 2 staircases in each of the rooms, and in between the staircases is like an archway to get to the dance floor. And then I put 2 bars next to the dance floor, and then I put 2 seating areas as well. And I was also able to put some dartboards in here, so that was really fun, and that's new as well. There was not always dartboards in the base game, but they recently added that with one of like the quests. So if you didn't finish the quest, I don't think the dartboard would show up for you, so sorry about that, but hopefully you did the quest. I'm not sure how it works if you didn't do the quest and you download a build with certain items that you don't have unlocked, or do they show up anyways, or how does that work, guys? Are you guys aware of how that works? If so, then let me know down below so that I can keep that in mind next time I make a build. because I hate, you know, seeing items in the catalog that like I unlocked with the quest and I use it thinking it's base game, but then like it doesn't download for you guys that only have base game, and then you're missing it, then you're wondering why, and that kind of sucks, you know? I want you guys to be able to download this completely of how I have it built. Does that make sense? So yeah, I am curious, how does it work if you download a lot with a quest item if you don't have the quest item installed or unlocked, you know? That definitely makes me wonder. But we are now kind of starting on the second floor. What I ended up doing on the second floor is that there is the dance floor at the bottom, and then you can see it from the second floor. There's like, you know, a short wall around the dance floor, so you can almost overlook it like it's a balcony. And then above that is a starlight on the roof. So I put several starlights on the roof in here, and I think that's so fun, especially since this is a nightclub. You're going to be here at night, and so you can look up and you can see the stars, hopefully, over all of the lighting that I have in here. But yeah, so the starlights is super fun and adds like an extra fun touch. And then I put some doors. The doors are in the exact same location upstairs as it is downstairs. And I also added these extra wall pop outs, and what I end up doing is coloring those, the different colors that I have in the front, the same in the back. So the color scheme throughout this build is very much the same. It's just the pink, the blue, and the yellow, and I think those colors, they go really good together, and they're like super fun and vibrant. I think they're the perfect colors for this nightclub. And then of course the fountains are the exact same colors. So yeah, the colors, they match each other from the inside to the outside, and that was pretty important for me to do. And then I'm adding the extra columns on these pop outs. The columns just add like an extra detail that is appreciated by me, at least. And I did the same in the front. I added the columns, and I added like an additional column in the middle of the pop outs in the front. It just needed an extra piece of decor, and I didn't know what to put there. At first I put windows. I'm sure you guys probably seen that, and it looked so stupid to me. And so I deleted that, and I came up with the idea of adding the column instead, and I thought it looked really cool. It looked pretty fun, and it gave it almost like a geometric vibe. Like this whole nightclub almost has like a geometric vibe to it, at least in my opinion. And then I added like platforms as like steps to go down by the fountains. There's no seating or anything down by the fountains. I mean, there's literally no room, but I did add seating up there on the balcony and on the patio as well. You guys will see that later in the build once we get there. Right now I'm adding some other decorations that I feel like's kind of needed on the outside. So I pulled these out of debug, I believe. Yeah, these vines are only in debug. So I pulled those out of debug, and I put them on both sides of like the edge of the building that has no windows or anything. I put the vines there, and then of course there's the tree in front of that part of the building. There is no windows on those walls. There's barely any windows on this build at all, and that is something new for me. I am usually like crazy when it comes to the windows. I add windows everywhere, but I felt like since this is a nightclub, there's usually not a lot of windows anyways. You want to keep the dark in as much as possible, and whatever lighting you have in the nightclub, you want to keep that in the building as much as possible. And then whatever lighting is not supposed to be in the nightclub, if it's from the outside, you want to keep that outside. So it just made sense for me not to have a lot of windows. And so the only windows that I actually have on this build is there in the front. That's literally the only windows I have in this whole build, which is pretty interesting. That's like the first for me. So it was a little bit hard to decorate every single wall of this build, at least from the beginning. Once I started decorating the whole build, it kind of just came to me, and it came a little bit easier, you know? But at first it was like, oh my God, where do I start? It was a little bit overwhelming at first, but yeah. With all of that being said, I really am happy with the way that this turned out, and I hope you guys agree. I hope you guys are enjoying this video, and if you do download this off of my gallery, I hope you have a lot of fun with it. It's super fun. Of course, if you only have base game, it's so fun, you don't need anything else. But if you do have the other packs, you know, I would definitely put a dance floor down in there. If you have Get Together, I actually tested it out where you are able to fit the DJ booth down on the dance floor, and it works so good. So if you have Get Together, definitely add the DJ booth. And I feel like that's really the only thing that it's missing here. Of course, you can add like a beer pong table if you have Discovery University. You can add the smoke machine if you have that new like party kit. Of course, the disco ball if you have the party kit. There's a bunch of stuff you could add if you have the other packs, but this is my base game only save file, so I could only use base game. Of course, as I was building this, I was thinking of all the stuff I could do. So that's never fun, but you know, I like challenging myself at the same time, and it was very much a challenge to make a nightclub using only the base game and make it actually look like a nightclub. Like that nightclub in Willow Creek is so sad. The Blue Velvet, like that is not a nightclub. Not the nightclub that I think of anyways. That's like a lounge or like even like a bar. Like that's definitely not a nightclub. Honestly, this is what I think of when I think of a nightclub. Lots of like dark surroundings with some like bright neon accent lighting and disco ball and a DJ booth if you have the DJ booth, all of that good stuff. And these are the bathrooms, so I kept the women's very pink and then the men's is very blue. You know, pretty standard, but I didn't want it to be just black and white or just gray or just neutral. I wanted it to be nice and vibrant. And so I was pretty happy with the bathrooms. The tile that I use is very pretty. It is pink and blue. It's not the same vibe I was going for when it came to the dance floor, however. I know I was explaining that Sims 2 tile, and when you see in the bathroom floor, you're probably like, Kristen, there is pink tile right there you're using in the bathroom. You could have done that on the dance floor. Well, it wasn't the same vibe I was going for, okay? I know I could have used it. I think I even tried to see what it looked like, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. So I ended up not using it on the dance floor, just in the bathrooms. And while we are on the subject of like The Sims 2, the tiles and everything about The Sims 2, it seems like we are getting a re-release of The Sims 2 and The Sims 1. And that's pretty exciting because I lost all of my old Sims games I used to have as a kid, and I haven't been able to fully replenish them as an adult. And so, you know, lately, if I've been playing, I haven't played in probably about a year or two, but a couple years ago I went through a phase of like playing The Sims 2 again, and I redid the towns, I gave it like a skybox, and I gave it revamped grass and the whole 9 yards. It's definitely needed on an old game, I'm not gonna lie, but when it comes to the gameplay, man, it's like chef's kiss. I'm not even joking. The gameplay is perfect, I love it. But anyways, it seems like we're getting a re-release, and so that's pretty exciting. I can actually go ahead and snatch it. I'm sure it's going to be behind like a paywall. You know, you're gonna have to pay for it again. And it's not gonna be free like it was about 10 years ago now. I guess they put it up on Origin for a little bit where you could grab it for free. Well, I knew nothing about that, and so I missed out. And so yeah, that's pretty exciting that they are re-releasing it. I really wish it was a remaster though. That would literally be a dream come true of mine. Like that would be amazing. If it was The Sims 2, everything about The Sims 2 the exact same, except they added more modern furniture, more modern clothing, hair, and also updated the graphics. Like that would be awesome. I think they would make pretty good money on that, so I don't know why they wouldn't want to. I guess they just feel like they wouldn't make enough money on it, but that really would be awesome. I'm just gonna take what I can get, let's put it that way. I'm not gonna complain too much. I guess at least they are re-releasing it where we can actually buy it again, and hopefully they have it around for a while now, you know, and they don't suddenly just take it back from us. That would be so mean. But we are upstairs now, and I pretty much have the layout of the upstairs done. And this little portion right here is the upstairs bar. This is the only bar area in the upstairs. And as I was building it, I hated the fact that this was the only upstairs bar area. But since I was playtesting it and, you know, you're not allowed to have more than one bartender apparently, I guess it works out kind of perfect. And another thing to note is that yes, while this is considered base game, and it is base game, these little lights right here, they are from like, I guess the Sims team was giving out these lights in The Sims 4 if you own certain packs of The Sims 3. And so that's where those come from. If you don't have those, you could totally replace those lights with something else, or you could just not have a light there. If you replace that light with something else, then you could click on the light while you are in live mode, and then you can adjust the lighting and the lighting color, and you can make it match the surroundings. That is what I do even with these lights. I made all of the lights pretty much purple on the inside just to give it that nightclub vibe. Some of the colors here and there might be different than purple. Like I have a green plumb bob there, I have a blue plumb bob, I have a white one, but for the most part, especially the overhead lighting, I do stick with that purple color. And so this room is pretty fun. I have 2 bars in this one room, and they're kind of shaped like in the corner, like an L shape. And I haven't done that actually before. I just came up with that idea when I was trying to lay out this room, and it was such a weird shaped room. Well, I mean, it's a square, but I had a hard time figuring out how to lay it out and make it like nice and fun. And so I came up with the idea of making an L-shaped bar, and then in the corner of the bar, I put like an island corner piece, and I think it turned out really good. I was really happy with that room. And then I put some posters in there and plenty of like fun seating and stuff. And I mean, that's pretty much it for that room. We are now starting on the rest of the upstairs, and I really had no idea what I wanted to do with this upstairs. Like, I guess I could have tried to make it another dancing area, but I really wanted to have that pop out where you could see down onto the dance floor below. I really liked the thought of that, and so I really didn't have any space to fit another dance floor. And so what I ended up doing was just having like a private room, and there's like a platform going up to the private room. Right there where those couches are, that's where the private room is. And the private room really is nothing special. It's just like couches and a coffee table, and it's like a fun hangout area. I was kind of thinking maybe it's like a VIP area or something, and then there's bathrooms on both sides, and the bathrooms are exactly the same upstairs as they are downstairs. They're just like pink and blue with a black toilet and black sink and stuff. I didn't really do anything crazy about the bathrooms. I did put a plant in there, however, so they have a little bit of decoration. And then off in the corner there, those are the little private rooms that I was talking about, you know, with those, with the tall margarita glasses that are shaped like a pole. You guys know where I'm going with that, yeah. We will decorate those here in a little bit, and there's really nothing special about those either. It's literally a couch and like a poster on the wall, and then like a rug, and then the stripper pole. The most interesting thing about it is the stripper pole. But yeah, so this private room is kind of like a VIP area. I was kind of thinking that Sims could quote unquote rent this area out and have like a little get together up here. Obviously you don't actually rent it out. You could probably just have you and your friends come up here and just hang out. It's really just set dressing in my opinion. I needed something to put there. This is such a big venue that there's so much to do. You don't even miss that upstairs. Like, you almost don't even need the upstairs, but there is the upstairs. So, you know, we have it and we love it. And yeah, I mean, we're not going to complain too much about having extra space, right? But for the most part, everything you need is actually downstairs. And as I was playing in this build, I actually didn't notice any Sims going upstairs. So for the most part, they pretty much just hang out downstairs. I am actually thinking about showing you the inside of this build once I'm done with like the speed build portion of it, and instead of screenshots, I will probably just go on a little tour of it with you guys and show you what it looks like in action using only the base game. I'm not going to have any of my other packs installed. It's literally just going to be the base game, so you can see what you can expect when you download it if you do in fact only have the base game. Another thing I will note about this nightclub when you actually play in it is the fact that, yes, there is only one bartender that spawns at a time, you know? And so only one bar has a bartender, so everyone flocks to that one bar, and typically the bartender goes to the front room bar, and so that is where the Sims decide to dance, is in the front room there. So that really is not ideal either. What you really could do is just invite everyone to dance with your Sim while they're on the dance floor. I know that's not ideal. I never really played with nightclubs using just the base game, and so I wasn't sure how it was going to work. I kind of figured, you know, they would just go out to each of the bars and just dance by the bars, you know. I knew they wouldn't use the dance floor per se just because it's not a legit dance floor. It's just like a made dance floor, you know. I made it, and the Sims aren't smart enough to know that's where they're supposed to dance at unless there's actually a floor there to tell them. And so I kind of figured they wouldn't use that unless we had our Sim invite them over. But I figured at least they would go into this room and dance by these two bars here that I have. But they don't. They stay in the front room area. It's not ideal, guys. It's not anything I was happy about. Let's just put it that way. I was a little disappointed, but it doesn't change the fact that this really is fun to play in, and I'll show you guys at the end. So if you're tired of hearing me ramble, then just go ahead and skip to the end if you just want to see the tour of the place. I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you. So as you guys probably seen, I do have two bar areas by that dance floor. Like I was just talking about, you know, the Sims choose not to go there for some reason, but whatever. Other than that, on the other side, I have some more like VIP areas. I almost did more bars, but honestly, I'm glad that I didn't, since you can only have one bartender at a time anyways. So the other side, I do end up putting more VIP areas, and it almost looks like it does upstairs, but a little bit of a smaller area, and it's up on a taller platform. And here are the hallways leading into the bathroom, so it's very minimal lighting in these hallways. I really wanted it to feel like a real nightclub. Like, it's so dark on the inside. Right now there's some lighting that's gonna go away eventually once I'm done decorating. I just have to see what I'm doing, you know what I mean? But I really wanted it to be like a real nightclub where like it's dark on the inside, you're in the hallway heading to the bathroom, and then you open up the bathroom door and you get slapped in the face by lighting and like you're blind and you can't see. I wanted that in my build because that is like a staple in the nightclub. If you've ever been to the nightclub, then you probably know what I'm talking about, especially if you're like, you know, you've been drinking, so you're probably pretty tipsy and or drunk, and you're used to the dark lighting with your eyes. And then going to the bathroom, it's like a whole different dimension almost. Like, it's crazy. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do in my build. And so I wanted to stun our Sims like that, even though they're Sims, so they probably don't care as much as we do. But yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. So the hallways are very dark, but they have like a purplish, bluish lighting. I think it's more like purple than blue. It has like a purple lighting at the top, and then there's like seating and like a plant in there and some like wall decorations, just because I needed to put something in the hallway so it wasn't just blank. And then of course, if there's a line to the bathroom, because this is the club after all, then you could totally like just sit on the chair. But this is The Sims and there's never a line for the bathroom, and there's like literally 8 bathrooms in here with like 2 toilets in each bathroom. So there's like 16 toilets in here. I don't think your Sim will have a problem getting to the bathroom. Which, talking about bathrooms in a nightclub, guys, I have a story to tell you guys of one time I went to a nightclub. This was back probably, how old am I? I'm 28. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. So probably like 10 years ago now, literally. I was at a nightclub in Ybor City. And I used to go all the time back then, right? And I went to the bathroom and I did my business, you know, squatting, because, you know, you don't want to sit on those filthy things. And somehow, I guess I stepped on a roll of toilet paper. I don't know. This is embarrassing, guys. I don't know if I've ever told anybody. And here I am telling internet strangers. Yeah. But yes, I stepped on a piece of toilet paper and I walked out and that bitch was attached to my shoe. It was like a cartoon. You know how you've seen that in cartoons? Yeah. So that was fun. And then I think it was the same night where like I was trying to act cool and I had like a cigarette, and I don't even smoke cigarettes, guys. But you know how you are when you're young and you're trying to look cool, okay? Let's just be honest about that. I had a cigarette and I was gonna have like this bouncer guy light it for me. And then like I had the wrong way in my mouth and I was trying to get him to light like the butt side, you know, and he just kind of looked at me like I was stupid, and like he made a motion for me to turn it around. Yeah, you know, nightclub memories. How awesome are they, right? No, that is totally sarcasm. I don't really miss those days at all. I'm happy being old and boring in my cozy pajamas. No, I have fun still. It's just not in a nightclub. I'm not like, you know, into nightclubs as much as I used to be anymore. I don't like being that close to people anymore. You know what I mean? But I will play with my Sims in a nightclub. That sounds fun to me. That's better to do it in The Sims than in real life, in my opinion. But anyways, enough about my embarrassing nightclub stories. Let's go ahead and get back into our build. So I am placing the radios or stereos around everywhere in this place. Like, I want the music to be loud. I want it to be like bumping, you know? And that's like a nightclub. I mean, what is a nightclub without like loud music? So I put the radios literally everywhere. Every square inch, every wall has a radio. And like I was saying earlier, this is just hip hop. I didn't do different music on different levels or different rooms because I didn't want them to bleed into each other. That's another thing about a club that I used to go to. It was multiple levels and each level had a different type of music. One might be hip hop, one might be Latin, one might be like just rap. I don't think there was ever like a country. It was typically just those types of musics, pretty much what you can dance to. And so I thought about doing that in this build, but I was so afraid that it would bleed into each other and it would sound horrible, and so I ended up just doing hip hop. And that's the best station anyways, that and pop. Those two are my favorite stations when it comes to The Sims anyways. Well, I mean, I like the alternative station too. I mean, that's probably just because that's my favorite type of music in like real life. But as far as like nightclubs go, hip hop and pop are definitely the best ones. So what I am doing now is adding some card tables here. I really didn't know what else to put here. So card tables it is. And when I was playing in here, I didn't notice anyone actually using the card tables, but they definitely are playable. Like if you have your sim come here and they have multiple friends and you want to play cards, then your sims could totally play cards there. But as far as like the townies go, I don't think they will actually use the card tables, which kind of, you know, that kind of sucks. I feel like this video has been full of disappointments on my part. I don't know why. I'm not trying to be that way, but the base game is a little disappointing as far as like gameplay goes. I feel like it could be a lot better. It has definitely come a long way. Don't get me wrong. Like, it used to be a lot worse, but it could still be a lot better. Improvements are being made, and that is all that matters though at the end of the day. And so here are the private rooms. This is the top floor. This is where the stripper poles are going to be, but as of right now, I am starting to add the microphones just because that is what I was thinking to do at first, until I came across those fun martini lights, and then I just had that brilliant idea pop in my mind. They could be actually private lap dancing rooms. I kind of want to download that mod I was talking about and test it out to see how it works. Hopefully there's enough room in there. If not, then that little private area right there, that VIP area I was talking about, you could totally put a stripper pole in the middle of that, and that could be like the private, you know, lap dance area. And then you could put some like curtains there where the archway is, just so that, you know, they have privacy. And yeah, I definitely want to test that out. It's been a while since I tried that mod out. I think I had it like once before, and I didn't have it installed very long. but that does sound fun to test out. I think I want to try to test that out. But yeah, so I am adding some lights in these hallways here. This hallway around like that dance floor, I really did not know how I wanted to use that space, like at all. And so I ended up just keeping it as like a hallway. I think I ended up adding some more tables all around there just for like extra seating areas. It's not like the card table or anything. It's literally just like tables. And so like your sim could just hang out there, watch the people down below dancing if they want to be weird like that. But yeah, I mean, I did change the lighting, so it's very like purple in this room right now, or here in just a minute when I do change all of the lighting in that room. It's very, very vibrantly purple. I do end up taking away probably half the lighting that's in that room, so it's a little bit darker and more like, I don't know, kind of on the romantic side, you know? And I thought it looked a lot better than it just being like bright in your face like that. Once I do all of the lighting in that room, you guys will see what I'm talking about. But I'm just putting like different last minute touches in these rooms. I do end up putting posters in each of these rooms. I might have used each of these posters more than once throughout this build, but you know, this is base game. You literally have limited options, and I didn't really know what to put on the walls in the nightclub, you know? Typically, I don't know if there really is wall decor in nightclubs. That's not something that I remember seeing, but I also wasn't paying attention to the walls at the same time, you know? And I also added some of the gaming mats. So that is something that I seen the townies use. So you will have some people go upstairs to use like the play mat. So at least it attracts the townies and stuff a little bit upstairs. So it's not completely just a ghost town, you know? So that was fun. I really didn't expect to see them using the play mats at all, or the game mats, whatever they're called, you know? They play like Roblox and stuff, but they do use it, and then the Roblox is like really colorful, so it actually matches the surroundings really well, better than I thought it would. I really didn't expect anyone to use it, to be honest. And here we are adding the additional tables around these half walls looking down onto the dance floor, and here are more hallways. These are the stairs. Oh, that is where I found those martini glass lights, and I totally forgot about these, to be honest. I should have been using these from the beginning, but yeah, I forgot about them, but I am happy that I ended up finding them. It would have been a little disappointing if I forgot about them altogether, but I'm just placing them around different areas, both upstairs and downstairs. However, these right here that I am placing by this bar, I ended up having to remove those because it didn't allow Sims to go around to use the bar. Like, the bartender wasn't able to get behind the bar with the light there, and so I did have to remove those, but I'm placing them by all of like the sofas and the lounge areas, and I absolutely love those lights. There's something about them that, like, I don't know, like they attract me for some reason. Not because they're like a stripper pole. Don't be weird, guys. That's not what I meant. I meant like just the look of them. They almost remind me of like the Sims 2 vibes in a way. And so that kind of attracts me a little bit. I don't know. There's something about them that I like. And so it's really fun seeing them around the build. I do enjoy it. And here just shortly, you'll see me add them in the room. I know I've said that multiple times. There's something about having them in the private rooms for them to be like stripper poles that entertains me for some reason. I really don't know why. I am actually trying to change the color of them to see if I could turn them a purple color. I wish we were able to do that, but we were not. If you get the green one and you try to change it to like a purple lighting, it just keeps it green, but then turns the lighting purple, if that makes sense. So I ended up just keeping them the original color that they are. I think there's like a red, there's a yellow, and there's a green one, and I ended up keeping the green one. It just stuck out more, and I thought it looked better. But in each of the different rooms, I did put different colors in there, and I tried to match it to the color of the room. So like the yellow has the yellow, the pink has the red, and the blue has the green. And so I thought those colors kind of like made sense with each other. and I am now trying to find the perfect color for this dance floor. I kind of enjoyed having it checkerboard like this. The reason why I ended up changing it was because I don't like how it's like little tiny tiles, and it's like a group of tiny tiles is one color, if that makes sense. If it was just one big tile as the checkerboard, then I think it would have looked better. But yeah, since it was tiny tiles and they were all grouped together in one color, and then there was another color grouped together next to it, I don't know, it just kind of looked weird to me. And so I ended up changing it to just this, I think it's like a gray color or something. And then I changed the lighting to blue and purple or blue and pink, something like that for the colors, trying to keep it the same vibe as everywhere else. And you are probably seeing me, oh, here we are, guys. Here is the moment we've been waiting for. No, but you will see me playtest this entire build. I like to do that as I'm building, just because, you know, if something doesn't work, then I can change it as I'm going, rather than do this whole speed build, playtest it after, and have to change something and then have to remember to mention it during the voiceover. You know, so I do like to play test it as I'm going. I just find it easier doing it that way. And then it keeps you guys up to speed of what I change without me having to really mention it. So we are now outside, and I'm adding some last minute touches to the downstairs patio, and upstairs I just put a couple of like concrete benches, and then I put a couple of tables and chairs. I kind of figured that was like the smoking area, even though there is no smoking here. This is The Sims after all, and there is no smoking in The Sims, unless you have a mod. But in my mind, that was like the smoking area. I tried to find a piece of decoration that kind of looked like an ashtray. What came to my mind was a certain, oh, it's the For Rent pack, and it has like a seasoning like masher thing. I don't know what they're called. It's like a stone bowl with like a masher, and you can break down seasonings in there and stuff while you're cooking. I thought of that, and I was like, oh, that might, you know, look like an ashtray. Well, it's in the For Rent pack. There was nothing in the base game that really mimicked an ashtray, and so we're just gonna have to use our imaginations on that one. And then downstairs I just put some more seating, like tables and chairs, and then I put another card table outside as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the outside. Plenty of lighting too. We are now back inside, and I am now finally doing the front room. The front room, I waited till the last minute because I really did not know what I wanted to do with this front room. I didn't know if I wanted just to be like a seating area or what. I ended up putting bars in here instead, and I almost did like an L shape like I did upstairs, but they're not connected with each other. I am now thinking I probably should have left out the bars in the front so that, you know, the Sims could actually get into the nightclub and get into the main part of the nightclub and then dance, instead of just hanging out here in the front room. You guys might see what I'm talking about here shortly, once I do like the little like walkthrough of it. But yeah. They do, for the most part, stay here, which is not ideal at all, but I guess it's better than nothing. This room's still pretty at the end of the day. I do have like the bar backs behind the bars, and I end up pulling out some wine bottles from Debug, and I put them up here on the counters. I really didn't know what else to put up there, so yeah, Debug bottles it is. But we are now done building the club, so let's go ahead and grab a Sim so I could show you guys around a little bit. Let's see what it looks like in action, right? Alright guys, so here is the finished product of my build. So this is Club Simoleon, that is the name of the club. And here it is, here is our Sim. His name, I forgot his name. His name is Alejandro Alvarez. I don't think you guys have met him yet. I won't say too much about his story. I will let you guys download my save file to get into his story a little bit, but he's almost like a Don Lothario, but he lives with his parents still, so yeah. Let's go ahead and get right in. So let's get him dancing in here. Go here. And dance. Alright, so I mean, it's yeah, you see how you see how everyone is dancing here. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely not ideal, but I mean, it's still, it looks fun, right? So that's where you enter at, and then you go through the hallway. There's the little singing area where they could do karaoke. Here's the main part where they can do the dancing and stuff. It's funner when there's other Sims dancing with your Sim. Mine is here dancing alone, but you know, to each their own. And the bathrooms are over here, and yeah, I mean, it's really no different than what you guys seen when I built it, but I just wanted to show it to you guys in action a little bit. And then here is upstairs, and here is our one bartender. Woohoo! We found him! And there's Nancy Landgrab getting some drinks. I can't believe she's buying her own drink, to be honest. But yeah, here is the stripping area. I actually forgot to put some curtains there, so we'll go ahead and add that now really quick. But yeah, I was kind of thinking these were like private areas. We don't want to see inside of there, so let's go ahead and put the curtains. But yeah, so this is pretty much it, guys. Your Sims will come here and use these mats and stuff, and here you can see the dance floor, and just imagine a lot more Sims here, not just mine. Then there's the private area and the outside area. Here's what the outside area looks like in action with all of the fountains and stuff. Yeah. And this is just the base game I have on available right now. It's not like all of the packs or anything. And yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this build. I really enjoyed building this build, and I'm looking forward to building more like this in the future. And of course, if you enjoyed this video in any way, then please leave a like on my video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And here is where everyone's dancing. Yeah, I warned you guys. But yeah, I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world. And I will see you all in the next one very soon. Bye, guys.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until